There are lots of things all around us, exciting things that surround us.
But how does it work?
Do you know?
How is it made?
Do you know? Things that go up, things that go down, things that go pop, things that go round, with special cameras to show you inside. It's going to be a big surprise.
But how does it work?
Do you know?
How is it made?
Do you know? Do you know?
Let's find out!
Hello, I'm Maddie, and today I'm sending a letter in the post. Have you ever sent a letter to someone? You can send birthday cards, thank you notes, or even a postcard from your holiday, and they can go anywhere in the country and all across the world. Today, I'm sending a letter to the CBeebies house. But do you know how a letter travels through the post? Let's find out.
How does it work?
Posting a letter.
I've got my letter and I'm going to post it in this post box here. But to post a letter, we need to put an address on the front of the envelope. Most addresses start with a house number or a building name, and then a street, and then a town or a city, and lastly, we put something called a postcode. And a postcode is made up of different numbers and letters, and every street has a different postcode. But there is something missing. I need to stick something to this envelope. Do you know what it is? Yes, that's right, it's a stamp. There we are. Right, let's pop it in the post box and find out what happens. At the same time every day, the postman or postwoman collects all the letters and cards from the post box and takes them to a place called the sorting office. Thousands of letters arrive here every single day in these red bags to be sorted. All of the letters go into this machine. It's called an integrated mail processing machine, or IMP for short. And the machine sorts the letters. Look, you can see my letter. There it goes. The letters fall into this spinning drum, and inside they get separated into different sizes. When the letters have made it out of the drum, they travel along these belts until they get here, and then they whiz off further down the line. The letters are sorted as they zoom along all these moving belts. They're really fast and really noisy. It's a bit like the letters are on a roller coaster ride. But to find out how the IMP machine sorts the letters, I think we need to take a closer look. When the letter goes into the IMP machine, it can tell which way up the letter is, because the stamp is always on the top right-hand corner. If it's upside down, it turns it the right way round. All stamps have invisible strips of special ink on them, called phosphor ink. There are 2 strips for a first-class stamp and 1 strip for a second-class stamp. The machine has a light inside called an ultraviolet light. The ultraviolet light can tell which stamp it is by counting how many strips it has. The letter then passes under a camera, which reads the address and the postcode. The machine turns the address and postcode into a number and prints it as a series of lines on the envelope. This is called a plan code. The plan code is what's used by all the other machines on the letter's journey to get it to the right place. So, I thought I could show you what the IMP machine sees by using my special ultraviolet light. And the ultraviolet light will let us see the phosphor ink stripes on the stamps. Should we take a look? Ready? Wow, look at that! We can see 2 stripes either side of the first class stamp and 1 stripe in the middle of the second class stamp. first-class letters will arrive more quickly than second-class letters. The sorted letters come out of the ink machine on these trays. Thanks! And here is our letter. And can you see this little pink strip here? That's the plan code. So from now on, all of the other sorting machines will know where this letter's going. Next, the letter is put onto a trolley and loaded into a van with other letters that are going to the same part of the country. And ends up here, at a local delivery office. The last step is to sort the letters that have been addressed to the CBeebies house. They're put into a big grey bag. And now the letters are off to the CBeebies house. Let's go and see.
Postman Pat has delivered the post. Shall we take a look?
Wow, here I am inside the CBeebies house. Oh, Rebecca, you got my letter.
Yes, thank you, Maddie. It's arrived safe and sound.
Oh, we've been finding out how posting a letter works.
I can't wait to find out all about it.
It was brilliant. What was your favourite bit? Do you remember the name of the machine that read the addresses? That's right, it was called the Imp Machine. Did you hear the sound the Imp Machine made? It was really noisy. And did you see the phosphor ink stripes on the stamps under my UV light? To write a letter, we need to use a pencil or a pen. But if we want to make a picture, then we need some colour. And we can use paint, crayons, felt tip pens. I like to use colouring pencils. But do you know how colouring pencils are made? Let's find out. How is it made?
Colouring pencil.
Colouring pencils are made here, in a pencil factory. This factory makes 100 million pencils every year. That's enough to fill 5 double-decker buses. Most coloured pencils are made with wood on the outside, and on the inside, running all the way through the middle, is the colour for colouring. And here they call that the core, a little bit like an apple core. The core of all coloured pencils starts out with a material called clay. And here, the clay looks like a white powder. But to turn this into a brightly coloured core, we need something else. We need something called pigment. And pigment is a brightly coloured powder that gives colouring pencils their colour. Looks something like this. Wow, we have a bright pink. In here, there's a blue. We've got, whoa, look at that yellow. We will see lots of different colours being made today. First, the pigment and clay powder is poured into a mixing machine, along with some water. In it goes! The machine mixes the water and powders together and then dries it all out until it becomes a crumbly mixture. This one is going to be a brown-coloured core. Finally, to make the core, the mixture is poured into a machine called a billeting machine. Inside this part of the machine is a huge plunger that rises up from out of the ground and squashes together all of that dried mixture at the top into a cylinder shape. Look, here it comes. Wow. All of the mixture has been squashed together to make a giant core. But we don't need a pencil that big, do we? So the cores are put into a machine called an extruder. Now it's making white cores. The large block of white is going to get pushed through this small hole to make much thinner sticks. You ready?
fast it goes!
The thin white sticks are pushed out and caught by chains which roll them out of the machine. I can't believe how many thin sticks that one large block of white is making. The sticks are rolled in a machine to make sure they're straight. Then baked in an oven. And finally, dipped in melted wax. These ones will make blue cores. The coloured cores soak in the wax for 3 hours, and this will make the pencils much stronger and smoother to colour with. There we go. The wax has made it lovely and smooth to draw a big smiley face with. So now it's time to make the outside of the pencils. These are the pieces of wood that are going to make our pencils. And can you see they have grooves in them? And those grooves are just the right size for one colour core. That means that this piece of wood will make 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 coloured pencils. And then the other piece of wood just sits on top like that. So we kind of make a coloured pencil sandwich. The pieces of wood go into a colour-filling machine where these yellow-coloured cores are slotted into place and fixed with glue. And lastly, the second piece of wood is stuck on top, making our coloured core sandwich. It's brilliant! Next, those pencil sandwiches are broken down into single colouring pencils that we can use. And for that, the wooden block is pushed through a set of these. And these are what give the pencils their shape. But they are falling out of the machine so quickly. I think we should take a look with my special camera. This is my special slow motion camera, and it lets me see things slow right down. So let's take a look at these pencils coming out of the machine. Wow, they look a bit like little worms popping out. Finally, the pencils are sharpened to give them their pointed ends. And here we have some brand new finished colouring pencils. And these ones are a brilliant bright green colour. Oh, I can't wait to get colouring in. I loved seeing how pencils are made. What was your favourite bit? Do you remember the name of the powders that give colouring pencils their colour? That's right, they're called pigments. Did you hear the sound of the cores rattling around as they were straightened out? And did you see the pencils popping out on my special slow motion camera? So the next time you draw a picture with colouring pencils, you'll know how they were made. And if you send a letter or one arrives in the post, you know how posting a letter works. Right, I'm going to go back to colouring in. I'll see you next time.
There are lots of things